So guys, in this video, we're going to learn how to add the animal pin extension mod, the GE parts, into a custom animal enclosure. Get a standalone enclosure or one that is embedded within the app. In this video, we're going to use Emerald Coast from CCS 101. Find this map over at PCSG. We're going to use this map because I plan on adding this option to the cow area, sheep area, pig, and the horse area for my eventual playthrough once Seasons is released. What we're going to learn is we're going to see how to take this, just the default water area, and turn it into this. So as you can see here, we have the water trough valve here. We've got a water valve, got two output spouts, and we've got a big tank over there to hold our water. This video is going to show you basically how to take, saw earlier, nothing at all, and basically add these things to it. So if you wish to use this mod with the default in-game animal pins, there's nothing really you need to do. Just you need to put this mod in your mod folder, activate it, and there you go. In fact, I did a really good segment in a recent weekend roundup video when this mod came out on basically how to use this mod with the in-game animal pins, and I will link to that down in the description. So this video is all about adding the components that you need to add with Giants Editor into a custom animal placeable so that you can use this mod with a custom animal placeable. So before we start, there's a few things you need to make sure you get. First off, you need to get Giants Editor if you don't already have it, and let's talk about how to do that. So if you go to web browser and you Google Giants Developer Network, GDN, you're going to come to this page. If you don't already have an account, go ahead and register an account by clicking register here. Once you have a login, log on in and download Giants Editor version 8.1, which is the most recent version of the Giants Editor as of the creation of this video. Once you have that downloaded and installed, you'll be good to go. Something else you're going to need is you're going to need to download the Animal Pin Extension mod from over at the Giants Mod Hub. You're going to need to use this with respect to building out our mod and using the mod going forward. And go ahead on over to LS Mod Company and go to the support thread for the Animal Pin Extension mod. And we're going to want to download the English installation guide here. I've already downloaded all of this stuff, got it all ready to go. So let's go ahead and talk about the next steps. So once you download the installation guide, you're going to want to unzip that. And basically, we have a PDF document, which we're looking at right here. We have an example cow pin mod. We have a README first document, and we have a pair of Lua scripts. We're going to follow document's suggestion, and we're going to read this text document first. Basically, it says we need to copy these two Lua scripts into a scripts folder within our Giants Editor install. So let's take a look at that. It gives the path as to where we need to place these. Let's bring up our File Explorer. So I've already navigated to C user's username, C user's me, and now we need to go to app data. Well, I've got these sorted by alphabet, and I don't see app data. What am I going to do? Don't freak out. Okay, app data is a hidden folder. Go up here to view and check hidden items. App data shows up. You can see it's kind of shaded out. Just double click into that. Okay. Something else we could do is we can click up here in our folder, in our navigation bar, and we can just type in app data and hit enter, and we'll navigate there directly. Do note the A and the D are uppercase. That does matter. Go to local. Go to Giants Editor 8.1. Then we'll go to scripts. Now, I've already placed these scripts into this folder, but if they weren't there, basically select them, right click, drag them, and say copy. Not pick move. Pick copy, and then place those there. We're going to skip that for now. Once you do that, we can close that out, close this text document out, and we can pretty much get rid of our installation folder also. Let's go back here and look at the installation guide. So the installation guide is really composed of two main segments. First segment, we can pretty much ignore until we're done the second segment. When I first started looking at this, I was really lost. I was like, what? All of this. I knew what this was, but I'm like, why is this leading? So in my opinion, it may be in reverse order. It seems to make more sense if these values are further along in the document as opposed to kind of thing you lead off with. But basically, it's talking about all the variables. Go in here and tweak and modify such. We're going to scroll all the way down here to page 11, where we are going to start our adventure. Start here at step 2, prepare mod, page 11. What we want to do is we want to open the placeable that we wish to edit in the Giants editor. Okay, let's go over here, and I've got Emerald Coast 2019 unzipped here. So all I did was download the map, unzipped it to my desktop, and now opened up the folder. We're going to make use of Emerald Coast here because I want to modify cow pin, the sheep pin, and the pig pin and the horses for this mod, because I plan on playing this in 2019 once Seasons is released, and the 2017 version had the equivalent of this mod. So I'm going to go ahead and make use of that. So if we go to placeables, we have cow pin Emerald Coast. So that's what we want to go to. And what we want to do is we want to first check. We have our i3D. We've got the Giants logo here. It's husbandry cow large.i3D. Okay, now we go over here to the XML, husbandry cow large.xml. It's important that both of these have the same starting file name. Okay, the extensions are different, obviously, but we want to make sure that they are named pretty much the same thing, and that's going to help us out later. Let's go ahead and open up the cow pin. I happen to have had a couple different versions of Giants Editor installed on this PC over the years. We're going to pick 8.1. I'll take just a few moments to open up here. And here we go. So now we've got our mod placeable opened up. There we are. This is a big beast. Most animal placeables aren't going to be nearly this large to deal with. Let's talk a little bit, if this is your first time in Giants Editor, on how to navigate and get around. The way I do it is I right-click, then I move my mouse left and right. It's a camera left and right, up and down, camera up and down. If I stay right-click and I hold the W key, moving the camera forward, Shift W makes it go faster. A goes left, D goes right, S goes reversed. You'll see down here in the corner, it says nav speed 3. I've slowed that down a bit. The default, I believe, is 10. So you can see if we nav 10 and we go forward, moving a bit quicker than we were with 3. Shift, it's a lot faster. So I'm going to change it back to 3, just because I find that useful. Over here to the left, we have the scenograph. Graph is going to be very useful to us. And on the right here, we have the attribute. Let's minimize those a little bit just to maximize our work area. Scenograph basically contains all kinds of things. You have transform groups and objects. Water trough, which includes the water trough visual, as well as the trigger, water plane, and various other things. See, if we highlight it, then we basically the whole thing just highlights, and we get these arrows. We'll talk about those in a little bit. Let's highlight the entire transform group and everything affected is highlighted. Very careful when we are clicking around here in Scenograph to make sure that we are picking what we are supposed to be picking. Back here to the document. Document suggests that it's useful if we create a plane and scale it to 100 by 100. Help us with placing of things because the plane can act as an artificial ground layer. Let's go back to our scenograph and see how we do that. We're going to go to Create, Primitives, and then Plane. I have a plane here listed in our scenograph, and we're going to have to look around. Oh, there it is. Closer to us. You'll see that we can use these arrows to move this in 3 different directions. Up, down, left, right, and forward and back. Okay? Moving this around in space. What we're going to do is we're going to scale this. So if we go over here to our attributes, and we make this scale 100 by 1. We're going to make this actually bigger. We're going to make this 500 because this mod is so large. Now we have a nice, large surface to work with. It's over. So, and then let's lower it down. See how things expose. What we want to do is we want to try to get this close to as we can where the ground layer is going to be at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to key off of a few visual indicators. I want to key off of these markers and fence and the water trough. Basically tell me where the ground should be because we know the markers are going to be on the ground as best as possible. So we have the plane selected. We're going to move this arrow up ever so slowly until markers vanish back. See when we are moving this up and down, if we look at the attributes over to our right, translate Y is moving. We can actually come in here and we can do some fine tuning with this to 1.5 to 1.3, 1.1, 1.5, 6, 4, 1. And that's pretty much going to be ground level. Okay. There, because our markers showed up. Now we know we are pretty much at ground level. That's where we're going to leave the plane. And we're going to use the plane at this point, then tell us pretty much when things are at ground level going forward. Take a look here. The next step is we need to run a script. We need to run the water add-on i3D creator script. Okay? Minimize this down. Run this script one of 2 ways. We can scripts and we go water add-on i3D creator, or we can go to window script editor and then we can pick it, water add-on i3D creator, and click execute. We're going to do it this way. And it told us, oops, we forgot a step, everybody. Getting ahead of myself. If we take a look down here at the console, we see we have an error. Animal pin extension zip was not found in that folder path. Please correct this. Okay. Got ahead of myself, didn't I? Let's go to stick this. Placeables. Stick it here. Here. And let me see if I can dig up where I put that file. Okay, I found it. It's over here on my desktop. Saved it animal pin extension.zip. What we're going to do is we're going to move this here to our placeables folder. And we're going to go ahead and extract this. We're going to need it extracted later. Extract that. Let's close it out. And let's run this script yet again. Execute. Okay. Now we can close this out. All the script did was basically create some empty transform groups. We have water, add-on, temp parts, deco parts, and pre-build parts. So that is all that script did at this point in time, is we used it to build out these. Next thing we need to do is we need to import our building parts. Go back to our directions. It says how we created the transform groups. Now we need to unzip the animal pin extension zip, which we already did. And we can now import the animal pin parts.i3d into our mod. Go to File, Import. Okay. You need to navigate into animal pin extension, unzip, shared parts, and then animal pin parts. Now we have a whole bunch of items that have gotten added to our scenograph. Fly over here, we'll see them all kind of stacked on top of each other. And let's separate them out. So we have the chicken trough area. We're not going to use that. For this video, we have the milk sails. We have warning stripes. We have trigger interaction icons. Tank, green tank. Dark green tank. A concrete tank. And then we have a whole bunch of pipe parts to pick from. So what we're going to do now is we are going to build out our water trough control system here. And something that's important to remember, let's go back, makes reference to it here in the document. Now we're free to copy and paste the parts required and move it into the parts transform group and basically build out the area that we want. It says, note, the order these are placed here is the order they will be displayed during construction. Okay, so that is important to remember. For example, when I was first doing this the first time, kind of learning how to do it, I had the valve above the pipes. So the valve showed up in the build process just floating in the air. That was pretty funny. And then the parts around the valve showed up a little bit later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the light green tank. There's a couple ways we can get it over here. We can drag it over here like this. And put it wherever we want. If we want to make it short, we could put it short. We could bury it halfway down the ground. That, if we did valves to show up, okay. Put it on the roof if we wanted to. Or with it selected, we can go to Edit, Interactive Placement, and just click. And boom, it puts it there. Pretty cool. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move around this three-dimensional area. And we're going to position our tank where we want it. It's important that we always look from various angles. Because remember, this is a three-dimensional area. Something may look really great from one angle, but then from another angle, we may decide that it doesn't look so good. That tight against the wall, so let's move a little bit. Good. I'm fine with these valves being here. I think of them as like kind of clean out valves if we want to clean this out for some reason. First, now we've moved our light green tank, we're going to do a Control X to cut it. Whoa, it went away. Click Parts, Control V, and we've pasted it. We've moved it into the Parts Transform group. It'd be cool if you could just drag and drop these things, but it doesn't work that way. You basically have to cut and paste. Okay, so tank. Let's do our spout. Click on our spout over here, and let's look at maybe where we want our spout to be placed. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to click Edit, Interactive Placement, and I'm going to put it right there. Quite exactly where I wanted it. Drop it down. Do that. I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. See where it's looking. Closer to it. Me. In fact, I might move it this way. Shade. If I wanted to, I could then take this. Let's click X. Parts. Paste it. If I wanted to, I could go here, Edit, and Duplicate. See, it makes another copy. And I could slide this over here if I wanted to. Okay. Click on this other spout. Let's back just a little bit. Said, always check things from multiple angles just to make sure they look good. All right. Got that. So let's think about how are we going to get water from our tank here over to our spouts. Well, we've got a pipe bend. Bring that over here. Got a bent piece of pipe. It's pointed the wrong direction. So we've got these little loops. We can basically drag and rotate. Rotate our part. Rotate the Y axis. Okay. What we're going to do is go over here to the attributes, and we're going to make that 90. So we're going to drag it, move it. We're going to place it like it's in, then put into the container. Drop it down. All we really see is the bend close to the bottom of the tank. That. Let's see here. I'm trying to put it in the middle of the tank. That way. So look at it. It's good enough for me. We need to cut, and remember, we need to put it in our parts. Okay. Now we have our tank. We have our pipe coming out of the tank under the ground. We've got two spouts over here to fill our water trough. Okay. Now we need to build out our valve. How are we going to open and close these things? Let's get our flanged bend. Interactive placement. There. This close post. I want to rotate this around. So I want to rotate this to minus 90. So the valve is basically by this post. And I don't want it that short. I mean, it's low to the ground. I want to raise this up there. Okay, now I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut, paste it into parts. Then I'm going to go and duplicate this. And I'm going to go here and rotate this. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, not minus 90. Now I'm going to drag it over here. Okay. Now we've left a space for the valve. So what I did last time when I was building this, trying it out, I put the valve in, and then I put these in. It was real funny looking when it built because the valve popped up in the air, just floating. Then later, these pipes connected. Let's get our valve. Edit, interactive placement. Stick it here. Obviously, completely in the wrong area. Here. And we have a decision to make. We have a decision to make. So we could come up here and basically walk up to this thing and turn it this way. I don't know. I don't like that idea. I want to spin this 90 degrees. So I'm going to rotate minus X minus 90. So I want the valve face toward me. I think I can get a good leverage on it that way. I'm gonna set it up like this. Of course, you could set it up however you wanted. You could have this real low to the ground, so you could kneel on the ground and rotate it if you wanted to. Have this valve located way over there, coming out of that. Have it positioned in the wall somewhere. Whatever you want. What we need to do is now basically take these pipes, line up valve. That's where looking at this from all kinds of different angles is going to play. Flanged pipe. Speed down. Smoother. This is right. See, minus 84. Let's go to minus 90. There we go. Square. This is probably rotated. Okay. Wanted this on this post. Centered on the post pretty good. That. Get our flange bend. Go to this flange bend. So. Now let's see. How do things line up? Looks like the pipe valve needs to come down just a hair. That looks good enough for me. It's good enough for this tutorial. Okay, so let's take our valve and X, paste it into parts. And at that point, take our interaction icon. I don't think we really need to move this, but we're going to move it anyway. Put it over here. Basically going to tell the player where they need to come in order to basically build this out. Wish to build it out. Not. And let's take player trigger, edit, right to placement. Let's put here. We need to check visibility so we can see it. This. Right, so that looks perfect. Again, what we have is we've got our tank, we've got our pipe, we've got our pipes and our valve, and we have two outspouts. Okay, we don't need to move player trigger. We don't want to move the trigger interaction into our parts. We're just going to pick our parts transform group, and we see all the aspects of this now basically highlighted. Take our milk sails. I'm going to put this over here. We're going to put it actually inside the building. Active placement here. So, back a little bit. That. Take this. Player trigger. Duplicate that. Active placement. We're going to stick it here. Oh. That's not the right trigger. What are you doing? Don't mess with that. This thing is big. Put that there in front of that. We're going to uncheck visibility on that. Let's go to this other player trigger. It's over here. And we'll uncheck visibility on that again so we can see it. And at this point, we are pretty much done with that aspect. Take all of these parts here and we can get rid of them. We're not going to use the water trough, so we're going to pick it and delete. We're not going to use the warning stripes. Delete those. Tank green, delete those. Tank concrete, that. And the pipe, delete that. Okay? Now what we're left with is basically all of the pre-built out area. Minimize our parts. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the deco parts. Scroll back down here. Place the player trigger. All right. Now we have to prepare for the deco parts. What we want to do here is need to import decoration parts. Minimize this. Go here to File, Import. We're going to import deco parts. Just like before, we've added a bunch of items into our scenograph. They're all over here. Let's fly over here and take a look. Toolbox. So we have a toolbox, metal cage, pallet box. We have just a flat pallet, hammer and wrench, plastic barrier, and we have a road cone. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to think about where do we want to put this stuff. First thing is I want to bring the toolbox and we're going to interactive placement. And rotate it a little bit. Okay. Let's bring the pallet box. And most of our pipes and everything are going to be over here. That down there. Hammer. That'll be pretty. Stuck it up. That'd be neat if we put it on top of the post. That look like it's going to sit there okay. Kind of looks. Rotate that around a little bit. That'll work. That'll look okay. And palette. Put the palette there. And do we want to put in the plastic barrier? Edit. What we can do is duplicate that a few times. But before we do, we need to put all of these things in this decoration parts transform group. So we need a cutter hammer, palette box, and plastic barrier. Let's cut those. Go to deco parts and let's paste them in. Okay. Let's go to plastic barrier. I want to duplicate that. And duplicate it more times. So we don't want that. Undo. Grab the wrong rotational thing. And we'll do it one more time. There we go. Right. Go back to our document. And basically the next thing we want to do is we want to put our pieces and parts that we are actually going to be using into the pre-built parts. So we're not going to use this. Delete that. Not going to use the road pipe. Not going to use the road cone. That. And what we're going to do now is basically we're going to pick the things that we're going to build, and we're going to put them scattered around here, the building area. Let's take note. It's important that the parts are added in the same order as they are listed in the parts transform group. Do not wish to have a part waiting for use, then do not add it to this list. Parts not in this list will be set invisible before they are ready to be constructed. For example, the tank. Okay, so we don't want the tank showing up anywhere. I guess in theory we could have the tank over here, then the tank pop in over there. That might be interesting, right? Let's do that. So let's take our, let's minimize this. Let's go to parts. Let's take this. Let's duplicate it. Okay. Now let's move our duplicate over to here. And let's take this. We'll cut it. Put it in pre-built parts. Okay. So now, when we start building, this tank is just going to pop in here. Hopefully there's nothing here in the way. And then as it builds, it's going to vanish from there and it's going to show up over there. Let's take a look. Spout. Let's do edit. Click it. Cut that. Let's paste it into here. And now let's move the spout out again. Very careful what you click on. Way. This way. Set our spout. 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 Set this rotate X to minus 90. Easier on us. There. It's good. Let's take our other spout and we'll duplicate that. And we'll cut that. Put it here in pre-built parts. Another interactive placement here. This one. Let's have it kind of off to the side. See, this isn't hard. It just takes a bit of time to put things kind of in the way you want it. Trying to this positioned on the ground. That'll probably be okay. Right? Next things I want to do is I want to take flanges. Bent pipe. Edit. Duplicate. Cut. Paste. And edit. Interactive placement. Lost. Moving it. Which direction? Put it in this box. Cleaning. The so good. Okay. flanged, edit, duplicate that, cut that, that there, this, let's rotate. It's already been taken out of the box. Ground there. This flanged pipe, duplicate that, cut, paste, and we'll put it box 2. That. Close. Let's raise it up. Go. And the last thing is going to be our valve. Duplicate that. Cut that. Paste it. And I'm going to place it in the box. Placement there. It's good. All right, so now pretty much have things built out how we want. So our water add-on temp is pretty much everything that is selected here. It's all of our finished parts, how it's going to look when it's done. Deco parts, which are just going to show up during the actual construction. And then the pre-built parts, which are going to show up and vanish as the whole thing is built. Okay, let's go to player trigger. Show this. What we're going to do is we're going to hit save. Just in case bad things happen, we have everything where we have it now. Let's go back over here and take a look at our document. Now we are ready to export this whole thing to the XML. We're going to run this other script, the water add-on XML creator script. Before we do that, let's go over here and look at the XML. Placeables, Emerald Coast. So let's take a look here at this XML in Notepad++. This is the large cow husbandry notepad, or large cow husbandry XML. See down here, it just basically ends husbandry section, tip, occlusion, update area, and the placeable. What we're going to do is we're going to go to scripts, water add-on XML creator, and we're just going to run this because we've already checked. Oops, wrong one. We've already checked that the XML and the i3D basically are named the same. They have different extensions, .xml and .i3D, but they are husbandry cow large and husbandry cow large. Let's go here and go scripts. Add-on creator. Oops. First, select a transform group containing one or more of the following parts. Go to pick water add-on temp. Now, it says completed writing to the XML. Go over here to Notepad++. It says it's been modified. We want to put it? Yes. See that we now have a new section, Animal Pin Extension. All of this stuff that we basically put in is now here in the XML. A few things we need to do with it. Okay. First, to go to player trigger. We need to go over here to our transform, click on Y. We want Control Shift C. Okay, it's basically copying the X, Y, and Z coordinates of our trigger. Over here to the XML, we want to go to trigger. Right here, we want to highlight this, and we want to hit Control V. Okay? That's basically what we want to do there. And now we need to do our water, not our water, but our milk stuff, milk sales. Look at the XML. We don't have anything about the milk sales. Go over here to our XML. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll up to the top part of that document. Add all of that extra stuff. We're going to go to the part that says milk add-on. We're going to copy this part here. Copy. And we're going to go back to our XML. We're going to go below the water add-on and above the animal pin extension. We're going to paste milk add-on stuff. Do note, in our copy, we accidentally copied this. Didn't want that. We wanted milk add-on. Because we already have animal pin extension up here. I'm going to break it. Very careful. Copy something over that. Okay. And we're just going to tab this out a little bit. That it is a little nicer. Visible format. That. Okay. There's a few things we need to do with this. Trigger position is required. This is the XYZ translation you wish to place the player trigger. Let's go back here to our editor and let's fly over here to our milk thing. Okay, remember we put a trigger over here. So we're going to click on that, click on Y, Control Shift C, go back to our XML, and we're going to look for our trigger. Our document says trigger position is required. For position right here. Go to trigger position. Let's Control V. Paste that in. That. And that should work fairly well. Sales area is at 90 rotation. Let's go back here. Click on our sales area. There is 0 rotation on our sales area. If you left that as it is, it would look like that. Okay, we don't want that. We want it to look like this. Let's go back here, sales area, and let's get rid of this 9. It's not rotated at all. And let's take this, Control-Shift-C, and let's put this position in here. Okay, just like that. Now it should show up in this location at this orientation. We're in game. Sales position is required. All right. So what we're going to do at this point is save this. We're going to go here and save the XML. And then fly back over here. And we're basically going to test this. We're going to see if it works. The way we're going to test this is we're going to actually delete all of that. And then we're going to see if the script will recreate it. So let's just hit delete. Just like that. And let's go to scripts and water add-on i3D creator. And it puts it back. How about that? Cool. Hit delete again. This, we hit delete. And we go scripts. And it puts it back. Basically, what it's doing is it's reading all of this information out of the XML so that you don't have to have this in the i3D. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to delete this one more time. That. And then we are going to save this. Just like that. Now we can close our editor, close our XML, and we can then come here to our map. What we're going to do is we're going to go to placeables. And remember, we unzipped the animal pin extension. We can now delete that. We're going to go in here, animal pin extension. We're going to delete that zip file. Now, of course, if we were going to edit the other animal areas, I would go ahead and edit those other animal areas and build it all out. No purpose in building all that out because for the most part, it is just replication. There's going to be a few differences. For example, the chicken area, we're going to basically have to add this to the XML. There's a few other things that we're going to have to add custom to individual chicken areas. Basically, what you just need to do is just come in here and just read this time. If I did a video and I showed every single aspect of this, I think it would just take absolutely forever. But what I do want to do, got this for a moment. What I do want to talk about is let's go back here to our placeables, Emerald Coast. Let's go here to our XML. Let's open this back up in Notepad++. There's a few things in here we could adjust. Let's go back here to our PDF so we can see them side by side. Scroll up here to the top. So there's some things we can add here. Let's get to the water trough. Water add-on. So price scale. Go here to the price scale. Right now it's set to 0. The default is 0, meaning the water is free. I could set this to 1, which would mean that it would cost us the same price as it costs water in game. I could set this to 0.5, so they basically cost half as much as water would typically cost. We'll leave it at 0.5. Rain input per hour. So since the water trough is outside, when it rains, rain's going to fall in the trough rain is going to add volume to the water trough. If this was inside, like for example on the Emerald Coast, the water trough for the pig area is inside, then when it rains, water wouldn't go into the trough, so that would stay at 0. What I want to do is I want to put water in the trough when it rains. So over here in the document, it basically says the default is 60. If it's 0, then nothing gets added. So I'm going to add this to 60. Okay. Fill liters per second, set to 400. If you want to make it fill faster, change that. Maintenance per day. Basically, at midnight, you'll be charged a certain amount of money per day if this is set to something other than 0. For this, I'm going to set it to 5. So we're charged basically $5 per day to have this set up. And we can come down here, part delay. So if this is setting parameters optional, default is false. This will add a delay to the building process. The idea is to allow longer build time with less parts. Delay in hours. Go in here and we can basically parts, scale, all kinds of things. You can even go in here and basically say it's pre-built out. So just go in here and look through this, take your time and build it out however you want. Example down here, construction requires purchase. Well, it's set to false. If it's true, then the user will need to first pay money to use the use construct or use water. I can really understand what that one means. Basically, the hours to build, the default setting is 10, so we can make this take less time if we wanted to build out. Here, hours to build. And construction cost, we can modify how much this is going to cost us. Maybe I want to make it only cost me, I want to make this cost $10,000. And I'm going to make it take 8 hours opposed to 10. Okay, just for the purpose of showing you how this can be modified. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this. Save the XML. Come back here to the map. And we need to zip the map up. I'm going to use 7-zip because it makes naming it really super simple. And once it's zipped up, we're going to move it into our mod folder. And note, in our mod folder, we already have the animal pin extension.zip. We want to make sure that we keep that in our mod folder. All right, so our map is zipped. Drag it and move it over to our mod folder. And at this point, we are ready to launch the game. Go ahead and launch the game. Pick a test, blank save, new farmer, Emerald Coast. I pick the animal pin extension and fast forward. Put up the map. All right, so let's jump on in. So the first time you launch a game with animal pin extension, you get this little information about the game, about the mod. Let's jump over here to the cow area and see if well, yeah, oops, I forgot something. I forgot to get rid of the plane. Oops. That was my bad. Let's exit back here. plane we made just for the purpose of figuring out where the ground was. I left. Delete that. Go back into here. Plane. Delete this. Save it. Okay. This. That was there. We're going to zip this back up. And I'll be back with you once we're back in game. Alright guys, so we have gotten that plane taken care of. Can't believe I forgot that. And actually, as you just saw, there was a couple other things that I forgot to get rid of. So now that we have completely gotten rid of all of the things we need to get rid of, basically test this thing out. First off, we got our trigger indicator here that, hey, there's something over here that you might want to interact with. Got R. Do we want to buy $10,000 to install the new pipeline to allow direct filling of the cow water trough? Okay, so we changed the price to $10,000. Maintenance of $5 a day. Remember, we added that value into the XML. And water at 9 cents a liter. That also. Before we do that, let's run over here to the cow area. Remember, we added our milk delivery machine in here in the corner. There it is. Walk up here, we can hit R to initiate transaction if we had any milk. And basically the first time I did this, or I forgot to delete out the milk thing, over here you can kind of see the side was kind of a little crazy, flashing textures. It's because this was here from the XML load and from the i3D being there. So we deleted it out of the i3D. See, it's still working, triggers and all that. That is because the way this mod works, and I probably have mentioned it before, but the sad thing is I've redone this video like 3 times now, from start to scratch and different segments. And I've kind of forgotten what I've said when. So if I'm repeating myself for the 7th time, I'm sorry. At any rate, what's really cool about this mod is the map author can prepare a map, or the mod author can prepare a placeable to use this mod. It's all in the XML. If the player never adds the animal pin extension XML or mod, animal pin extension mod, in their mod folder, never activates it, the player has no idea this mod has that capability. There's no warnings, there's no errors, there's no nothing. Instant a player adds the animal pin extension mod into their mod folder, activates it, then uses a modded animal area that's been worked to work with this, then the whole mod, then everything just comes to life, and it's really cool. So come up here, we hit R. Yes, we want to do that. 8 hours to complete. Go. Just fast forward till tomorrow, 6 a.m. Four, 5, 8. 6. The icon goes away because now there's really no reason to interact with it. You see our toolbox that we put in. You see our hammer and wrench that we set up here on the post. You see our pipes, the box, pipes on the pallet. Of course, if we didn't have these weeds in the way, it would look probably a little bit better. Our big green tank has been delivered, waiting for install. And we've already marked off the area with security barriers. But mark off where we're going to be putting our tank. So if we fast forward a little bit, see the tank has been installed, now in its final position. And we're going to come over here and remember we got our pipes, our spouts. Fast forward a little more. One spout's gone, been mounted. Or the other spout has been added. Where we have our elbow pipe. It's going to go over on the water tank. It's now over here on the water tank. Back over here. It's kind of fitting it's raining. Maybe we'll see some rain. That pipe. That pipe. Only thing left to add is our valve. Valve is added. Plumber basically needs an hour to clear his stuff out of the way, and now we're done. So to use this, we need to basically have some animals in our animal area. Let's go get a couple of animals. It is kind of fitting that it's raining. I'm kind of glad it's raining. Buy some animals. And what we'll see is 6,400. I'm going to fast forward a few hours. Oh, no, stop. I didn't want to activate that. Fast forward a few hours. So let's see. I have 1,043 liters of water. Let's go until... Now we have 1,049 liters of water. We got a little bit of extra water in our water trough because of the rain. Not a lot, just a little. It's filling up. Got water coming out of both spouts. So, back over here. Really cool animation on our valve, an indication there, and that's it, guys. Barriers are gone. That's now in its permanent location. It's got a collision on it. Valve there. Thing is ready. Go. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. I know it may have been a little disjointed, a little confused. Already going back and redoing this a fourth time and hoping that I don't mess up and skip something and have to come back and redo it and everything. Just take your time, work through it. This is one of the hardest ones to do because of the milk cell area. You don't have to do the milk cell area if you don't want to. If you don't want to do it, then just don't add it. Just don't add the XML items into the XML. Chicken is going to be another, little more difficult one because there's the whole fact that chickens don't typically take water. I am planning on not adding the water aspect to the chickens. It's because I plan on using this map with seasons. I really don't know how seasons is going to interact with respect to chickens' water requirement. But I do plan on finishing this map up by adding it to the sheep, adding it to the pig, and adding it to the horse areas. I didn't do that in the video because, one, the video would have been probably about 2 hours long. And it's a lot of repetitiveness of just building it out for each area. Basically going to replicate this setup over here for the sheep. Might put the tank right here or something for the sheep. And for the pigs, it's going to be inside. And then for the horses, it's going to be over there at the main farm. But at any rate, let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. Was it helpful in any way? Or did it basically cause you not to be able to figure it out at all? Hopefully not. Was it helpful in any way to see how you can add this mod into a custom animal pin? Either standalone mod file or a custom animal enclosure that is embedded within the map. Until next time, happy farming.